Thank you guys so much for all the responses. When I posted this, I thought I would get a couple of responses, enough to distract me. But honestly, the sheer overwhelming wave of comments was exactly what I needed. And I'll be coming back to this post when I need a reminder of exactly why I'm not with that person anymore. Stay healthy, everyone. Story 1. I always go no contact with my exes. Nothing good comes from contacting them, and it also makes you look desperate. I'm a prideful lover, and once I've been rejected, I never look back. It also helps being in a long-term relationship for over 6 years. Story 2. I literally had to create a list in the Notes app of everything she did during the relationship so I could refer to it whenever this feeling came up. Always did the trick. Story 3. Remember all the times she accused me of cheating, screamed at me, embarrassed me, isolated me, shut down and wouldn't communicate with me, projected her insecurities onto me, blamed me for the way she was treated by men in the past, gaslight me, used sex to manipulate me. Yeah, you get the gist. Story 4. I'm seeing a lot of guys say it's easy because the woman was toxic, but what if she wasn't? What if it just ended because you drifted apart or something happened that really wasn't that big of a deal, that seemed like a big deal at the time? Story 5. I learned to stop picking up that rope a long time ago. She is an ex for a reason and in my rearview mirror. Nothing but lies, manipulation, victimhood, delusion, and pain when it comes to her. Why would I ruin my day and brighten hers with narcissistic supply? Story 6. If it is at the beginning stages after the breakup, then I need to give my nervous system a break. The relationship with them creates overexposure, which leads to attachment. Make sense? Story 7. I have a list of all the things that I actually disliked about her or her personality but put up with in the relationship. But when you're on the other side of the relationship, they now really come in handy and give me perspective on the fact that my connection with her was somewhat superficial and mainly a sexual attraction thing. I'll give you examples. She was really into rugby. I hated it, a completely ridiculous sport with elitist bandwagon fans. I never have to watch it again. Amazing. Her taste in movies such as The Notebook, an absolute toxic mess of terrible ideas on romance and, of course, full of cheating and affairs and going with feelings over any logic when dealing with romance. Again, I can avoid having to ever deal with that again. Her taste in food. Quite bland and uninteresting. I don't like this, etc., so boring. Her taste in music, she had none, and I work in music, so this one felt like a big hole in connection for me. Her sense of humor. She basically did not have a good one and was actually quite annoying about this. Like she found it offensive that I didn't laugh at her enough in the early part of the relationship. We were somewhat long distance, so now I don't have to deal with that any longer and don't have to consider ever moving from my hometown if I don't want to. She was emotionally cheating on me, so I know I shouldn't even need any of these reasons in the first place. It has been a confusing period for me since the breakup, so granted, this one is huge. And there are also other superficial things about her appearance and personality that I wasn't crazy about, and I just think of those too when the sexual urge stuff rears its head. Do what you can to highlight any negative aspects of her, and you can start to resist the urge. Story 8. I deleted her number, every picture that I shared with her on social media, and took down any pictures I had in the home. I wrote on a post-it note, "She does not love and does not want you." I put that on my bathroom mirror so I could see it every morning to remind myself. Then I focused on myself. I dove more into healthy hobbies like the gym, hiking, running, and I reconnected with old friends. It hurt for a long time, but eventually I healed. I am now married to an incredible woman and am the happiest I have ever been. If you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, it's hard to see the road ahead of you. Story 9. It's funny, we stay with the person we think we are in love with, thinking our lives are perfect together, and once we divorce them years later, we find out how toxic these people actually were or became during the relationship. It's even more amazing when people comment post-divorce about how much happier you are now, how you're more upbeat, sociable, and motivated you've become. Our exes are exes for a reason. Remember that when you reach for your phone to get your fix. Story 10. I have never wanted to look or feel that needy. To me, it is pathetic. That feeling is what has kept me from chasing after a girl if she is not interested or if things ended. Story 11. I read a really good piece of advice. When you break up, you write down with examples why you broke up with her. In the future, you will later forget those hard edges and remember the smooth and lovely stone of that relationship, only remembering the great times you miss. Take out that letter and remind yourself of the edges that left those scars on your hands. Story 12. Sit in the feeling and try to ignore the thoughts about being the one who is responsible for the relationship ending, especially if that is what she told you before she left. Lay on the floor and cry if you have to, but don't text. It will just make you feel worse and destroy your self-esteem. This really brutal heartbreak is tough, but you can do it. Many have done it before you, and you'll help some after you get through it. Listen to some old country music. You'll find guys who are feeling the same way. The somehow comforting. Story 13. Keep her blocked. Remember the lies and betrayal. Occasionally, I watched the video she recorded when I showed up late at night to see why she wasn't with me. She was drinking with some guy in her car at his house, and I broke up with her and left. I love watching that video. I'm really glad she recorded it. Story 14. I don't stop myself from texting her. I wish we were still together. She made me look forward to every day. I only space out the days between messages I send her, and I try to act nonchalant so that I don't push her away. We've hung out on occasion, and I look forward to seeing her again. But I look forward to the day when I can actually be happy without her. Story 15. I remember the disrespect, the lies, and how much my feelings were disregarded and spat on. I wasn't perfect, but I was faithful and I tried to be better. She did not. I live a better life without her in it. Story 16. I upset them badly enough that they block me because I'm not strong enough to resist trying to reconnect. So, if I go all out, they will block me easily. Story 17. The best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. I asked my now wife out a week after breaking up with my high school girlfriend of 2.5 years. We've been together 11 years now. Story 18. How can I text people that I blocked and remove them from every single aspect of my life? Every single breakup I've ever been through, except for our early high school, I completely removed the person from my life. You need to move forward, not live in the past. Story 19. Where I'm from, we use WhatsApp rather than standard text messages. So, I blocked her number, deleted her contact, and her chat history. That way, if I want to text her, I have to manually add her number, and then unblock her. Those are enough steps to make it enough of a hassle that I get enough time to think things through. Story 20. It helps to be sober. I delete the number, but I remember it anyway. Also, the realization that just about everything she says is a lie and she will use anything I say as an opportunity to gather information to eventually hurt me. Story 21. Nothing is stopping me, but I've closed that chapter of my life. We are good with one another, gave it another shot after 3 years of no contact or seeing each other, and after dating for 2 months, we came to the conclusion that we're better off as friends. I respectfully declined, wished her well, and that's that. We bump into each other from time to time, which is fine. I will always have some feelings for her, but acknowledging and moving on is the best thing you can do in my opinion. Story 22. After enduring another round of jealous accusations and an angry outburst, I got in my car and drove the 200 miles home. A month later, I decided to reach out with a gentle message, but she was still busy justifying her behavior. Now, in the second month, I'm gradually distancing myself and won't reach out again. Even her sister says she's being ridiculous. I don't even know how my parents managed to get to 55 years married. I know my dad has never heard my mom lose her temper hysterically, even during the menopause years. Story 23. Some are listed as do not call followed by a name, which is enough of a reminder for me not to reach out. However, I could see potential if we reconnected later and both changed a bit. The others, where I see no chance of us ever working, are just gone. Keeping the contact information when I know it's not going to work and have zero interest in talking again is just asking for trouble. Story 24. I want to hear her voice and see her face. I want to smell her rose perfume more than anything, but she dropped me like a hot potato for a polyamorous life. I'm going to go groveling to her. Story 25. I do not give them a second thought. They are the past. One tried texting me months later to rekindle something on her new number, and I immediately blocked the number. Story 26. Remembering what the relationship was actually like, not the romanticized version I have held on to. Remembering all the things she did that showed me she wanted me for what I brought to the relationship, but that she did not care about me. Facing some of the bad times to accept how abusive she was and how love was a tool she used, not something we were in together. If this applies to you and you are able to accept what your relationship actually was and you still want to talk with her, there are more lessons you need to learn. If you remember and accept that you deserve better and do not want her back in your life, then you are ready to move on and just needed the reminder that she was not good for you and still is not. Story 27. I only ever contact one ex, and that's because of some other stuff, not kids. I maybe talk to her twice a year, and my wife always knows. Otherwise, I just don't text them. It's easy. Story 28. I deleted and forgot her number a long time ago, and she's not on any of my social media. I found out she got married a couple of years ago, and I'm genuinely happy for her. Story 29. Blocked on everything, deleted her number after blocking, deleted our text chain from over the years. It helped that she pulled some nonsense post-breakup, but I never felt inclined to reach out. Story 30. I deleted her number, and every time I get a new phone, if it comes up again, I make sure to immediately delete it. I don't need her anywhere near my life ever again. Story 31. Deleted her number. A work colleague and mutual friend keeps offering me her number back whenever I feel frustrated about being single, but so far I'm not interested. Story 32. Get on a dating app and immerse yourself in meeting new people. Just say upfront that you're not looking for anything serious. You'll have a list of friends with benefits who can text you instead. Story 33. That I deserve more than breadcrumbs? Sure, every message ping makes me remember her, but it will pass in some days and maybe in a month, I'll forget about her. Story 34. I would generally fall back into old routines like hobbies and hanging out with friends. Also, if you are just finding it absolutely impossible, why not delete their number? Story 35. I don't try to stop myself. Either we ended on good terms and stayed friends, or we didn't. If we didn't end on good terms, not texting is simple. I don't want to text her. If we stayed friends, then texting is normal for us. After that, we either stay friends and text or drift apart over time as some friends do. Story 36. With 99% of them, I have no desire to. With that one, though, I remind myself she's happy. She's traveling with a great guy who loves to cook for her, isn't tied down to one place, and makes her happy. I want her, but she's happy and that's good. Story 37. Get, stay, and never otherwise busy. Even when your plate is full, keep a rotation of things and people to distract from it all. And while you are at it, block, discard, dispose, and disappear everything about your ex. The sooner you move past that experience, the sooner you will come out of it. Story 38. I just don't text her. Look, there are no second chances. Life is not a romantic comedy. If it didn't work the first time, it isn't going to work the second time. When you end a relationship with someone, you move on and you never look back. Let the past stay in the past where it belongs. Story 39. Which ex? I'm still friends or like Facebook friends with most of them. I don't meet up with them in person, though. There's only one I ended things with acrimoniously. He cheated on me and stole a bunch of stuff from me. My last ex moved to Europe and he's having a great time. The only reason we broke things off is because long-distance relationships are hard. He seems happy with his new life, so that's cool. He's not a threat to my relationship with my girlfriend at all. Story 40. Each time you message them, you are letting them know you were thinking about them. Is it worth them knowing that? And will it disturb my peace? In most occasions, it is not worth it. Let them flow down the river of faded thoughts. Story 41. I had undiagnosed and uncontrolled depression. I had lost all of my confidence. Agoraphobia held me hostage in my home. I was living on $1,400 per month. She had 2 chihuahuas, one of which was a troublesome dog that would attack and bite anyone that got too close or made. Story 42. I just don't. I'm pretty radical when things end. Being cheated on and lied to makes it even easier. My first ex never tried to reach out. Neither did I after a 9-year relationship. I just packed my stuff and left while she looked at me, sobbing on the couch. My last ex called and messaged me 2 years after the breakup. She told me she missed me and apologized. I haven't talked to her since. I respect myself and my current girlfriend enough not to text my exes. Don't do to others what you wouldn't want others to do to you and all that jazz. Story 43. I don't. Instead, I act needy and I literally told her that I can't go on without you. And she stayed away because I was needy, without a life, and had no options. Then she saw me out with an Asian girl that I introduced as a friend. Then about a month later, she saw me at Walmart with an ex. About 2 months after that, she called and said, "I figured you out, you bastard. You're acting needy and talking nonsense because you know it turns women off and I'll leave you alone. Alone to be with all these other women." Then, once figured out, I stopped texting her. She told a mutual friend that I was diabolical, laughing so hard. I'm stress-free without her. And per the same mutual friend, she's on guy number 5 and frustrated with dating. I give zero care. Story 44. I screenshot all of the absolutely nasty things she has said to me, and when I would feel like I missed the company, I would reread the way she would talk to me and act. It was a very quick reminder that I don't need that in my life. This was maybe 2 years ago, but I still have them because at this point they are funny to look back at how ridiculous she was.